Let's make a predictable daily schedule so that way you can get more done every day and so that your days can be mostly predictable. So let me show you the method for this. There are three main reasons why you want the predictable schedule. So the first reason is for easier way to track your habits. The second way is so you can focus more. And then the third reason is for less decision fatigue, since you know exactly the next task that you need to do, and so you don't overthink. The first step is with a pen and paper, is you want to start off by listing every predictable daily task that you do. So even the small tasks. But for this, so you don't like overdo it, start off by doing with tasks that take 1+ minutes to do. So very small stuff like blowing your nose, tying your shoes, you don't need to track. This is mainly for the bigger habits or medium-sized habits. So you start off by making lists of every predictable task. So for this, you can use color pens to make it look more organized. So for example, let's start off with using the bathroom. You could do stuff like morning routine. Right? You could do stuff like night routine. You could do like Google Docs, Gmail. You could do like Google Docs setup, email. I mean, I just use Gmail, that's why I said that. So Google Docs setup and email. You could say stuff like eating. And for this, you can be more specific. Like you can write out your full morning routine and night routine, or you could do is on a separate piece of paper. You have those things written out. This is just a general idea. You could do stuff like charge phone, a laptop. You could list your entertainment things. So entertainment. You could do stuff like clean up to sleep. You could do stuff like your main habits. So like 16 main habits, or bigger list, maybe 29 main habits. Depends on how many mostly money habits you have. You could do set up and track for those habits. You could do stuff like workouts. So that's just some examples. So like right here, we already listed 11 things. And then what you could do is you could, if you want, you can be in more detail. Or if you already have these things written down, like your morning routine, you don't need to rewrite this. But for this, just start off by listing every predictable daily task that you do. And you can really write out the full list if you want, like maybe 50+ daily habits that you do. The second step is you want to time each task, each specific task or each category of tasks for 5+ days. So what you could do is I'd recommend a timer for this to keep it simple and more accurate. And then what you could do is, for example, let's say workouts. You can time track how long a day it takes you for the total workouts. So you can start tracking when you start doing the workouts, or you can include the setup time for this. So if you want to keep this simple, you can include the setup time. So like let's say for your workouts, let's say first day takes you 30 minutes and 10 seconds. Second day, 30 minutes and 25 seconds. And then let's say it takes you 32 minutes and let's say 20 seconds. And then let's say the next day takes you 30 minutes and 50 seconds. And then let's say 29 minutes and 10 seconds, etc. And then what you could do is you can give yourself an average time for this, and then you can round it. So let's say for this, it takes average maybe around 30 minutes a day. Some days there will be more, some days there will be less, but that's the average. The simple thing you could do is just add this all up and just divide it by the numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add these up, divide by 5, and you should have your average right here as an estimate. This step is very important because this makes your daily predictable schedule a lot more accurate than predictable, but not with 100% accuracy. Remember that. So again, for step 2 is you want to track each of these for 5+ days, and then step 3 is you add these all up and divide it by the number. So you add these all up, divide by 5 if you do it for 5 days. Fourth step is track every task that takes 1+ minute, every single task that you do every day for a whole week. So that way you can get an estimate of how your days will go. And that way you can also be more accurate in how you spend your time and how long each habit takes. So for 7 days on a paper, you time track every single task that you do. So maybe you write, okay, 1, fix bed, 2, use bathroom, 3, floss and brush, 4, set up Google Docs and Gmail, 5, set up for habit number 1, etc. So you can time track your whole day, every single task that takes 1+ minutes, and you can do it for 7 days. So that way you can get an estimate on how you spend each day in your week. Step 5 is you want to calculate your total waking minutes. So for this, it's based on your ideal sleep schedule. Like for me, I'll admit that I need to fix my sleep schedule. But for you, let's say your ideal sleep schedule is, okay, I want to be in bed by 10:30, and I want to wake up at 7 a.m. So if you're asleep for, let's say, 8.5 hours a day, that means you're awake for about 930 minutes estimated. So if you sleep for 8.5 hours a day, you're awake for about 930 minutes or 15.5 hours a day. That 930 minutes a day is the amount of time we have to work with to create our daily schedules. So when you create a daily schedule, imagine this as like you're budgeting money. Okay, you have $930. What's the best way I can spend each of these dollars every single day? So that way you can spend it smartest and most productive. So you need to know, okay, how much time do you want to sleep a day, and then how many waking minutes a day am I going to be up every day, to know how much minutes we have to work with for our daily schedule. Once you have your estimate, you know what tasks you do, you know how many minutes you're awake, now you can build your predictable schedule. Now this isn't going to be 100% accuracy. Some days might have unexpected tasks that might disrupt this, but for most days you should be able to follow this. So for example, I'll give you an example. So like let's say wake up at 7 a.m. as a goal. Let's say first thing you want to do is fix bed. Let's say for that and changing, let's say that takes you 10 minutes. Round it up. Then let's say use the bathroom. Now some of these things can vary, but just an estimate. You can give yourself a high estimate if you want, or a low estimate. So like let's say for the bathroom, let's say 12 minutes. And then let's say for floss and brush, you know, let's say because you have to rinse your mouth and stuff, do all that stuff, maybe clean a bit. Let's say it takes 11 minutes. Then let's say Google Docs and an email. Let's say that takes you 10 minutes. And then you keep going. So you know you have 930 minutes a day to work with. So you keep on doing this to build a predictable daily schedule. Maybe on the weekends it could be a different schedule than your weekdays. So you can put the day. So like this is okay on Monday. Maybe the next one that you do is, let's say, for a Sunday. You know, one side or one paper plus. Just make sure you have enough space to do each. Just make sure you have enough space to list the full 930 minutes worth of tasks. So you might have to use multiple pages for this. And what I recommend is you can laminate this or print it off, so that way it looks a lot more cleaner and organized. Some more tips for success is what you can do is you can color code it, or you could organize it by categories, and then you can allow yourself some buffer time, because sometimes it varies on what you do. Like let's say using the bathroom, obviously varies the time. And then what you could do is like maybe once a week you can adjust and you can upgrade your daily schedule. But for the most part, you want to follow your predictable schedule. So you only need to even change it maybe once a week, maybe once a month. But again, what you want to do, follow your predictable schedule, make it as accurate as you can, allow buffer time, and know sometimes unexpected tasks come up, and that way you have to change it. but for about 80% of the time, you can follow your predictable schedule. So don't really change it up too much. You can improve it time to time though. Just know what is smartest for you. Leave in the comments below what do you think is your biggest time waster. Let's hear it.